Okay? So you want to send in the Marines, the Navy, the Air Force. You want to send everybody back in because you've just put a nuclear bomb on your soil, on your crop, that's wiped out 99% of your biology because that's what these things are designed to do. You want to add that back as quickly as you can. That's where it's so important to understand that we don't grow plants, we grow biology. No matter what you're doing, what methodology you're following, everything boils down to that biology that makes the cell, which is your plant. Okay? We have to really change our mindset to what we're truly growing, what we're creating. We're creating an environment where the biology can do their job. Mother Nature has set this all up for the biology to do its job, to use the materials available to it to make healthy cells. If we can't make a healthy cell, we cannot have a resilient plant. We can't have a resilient human being either. If we're consuming that, but we're growing, so let's say we're a gardener, we're growing, carrots and lettuce and cabbage and broccoli and all the normal things that we grow and eat. If we're not growing those resilient plants, if we're not growing, with the understanding of growing the biology that's growing the plant and supplying all the different components to that biology, we are not having healthy plants. We're not having resilient plants. When we consume that, we don't have the nutrition in that plant that our body has to have for us to create healthy cells and be healthy. That's why you hear story after story after story of somebody that's sick, on their way to death's door, and they change their diet, and all of a sudden they start to get healthy again. They're not sick anymore because they're supplying the right material for their biology that exists in our body to build healthy cells. And a healthy cell isn't sick. You get rid of all the sick cells. You have them consumed by your T cells, your killer cells that are running through our bodies. And all of a sudden it's replaced by healthy cells. And, hey man, I'm not a diabetic anymore, or whatever, ails you. Okay. All of a sudden you've created this environment inside your body by changing what you're eating or even how you're eating it into what your body needs for the material for your biology inside your body to make healthy cells. Now, I myself am keto carnivore. I don't eat a lot of greens. I want to feed my animal those greens because they're designed to break it down. I don't have four stomachs. Okay. I am not a cow. I'm not a rumanoid. Okay. I only have the one stomach, and it's designed to eat specific things. Now, I'm in northern Canada. If you're in Hawaii, you have access to fruits and vegetables year round. You actually have different biology in your gut to break that down more and more and more. You're having more fish in your diet than red meat. Your biology is more suited to that in your stomach. That's where, okay, I'm live in Canada, I go to Mexico, don't drink the water, because it's a different biology. There's different bacteria, there's different fungi, there's differences. And if you're living in an area where you have access to these different varieties year round, then that's what your body is going to be wanting to have. But if you're in, say, Canada where I am, and we don't have access to fruits and berries year round. If we're not canning them, storing them so that we can eat a certain amount during the winter, our bodies aren't designed to have the same materials. That's where you eat generally what's available in your local area at the different times of year. Okay? We wouldn't be eating a fresh tomato in December or January in Canada. Well, at least on northern Canada, okay? But we'd be able to go out and hunt a deer or a moose or an elk, okay? It's the local. Okay, eat local within 100 kilometers slash miles. Yeah, Lily, and that's supporting your local farmers, your local community. That farmer goes out and he buys stuff at the store and supports the local stores. Everything is really become global, where we're bringing food in from different parts of the world. And I know I mentioned this with Andy on Wednesday, the different chemicals that get sprayed into a transport truck to take that green banana to yellow as it's getting to the store. You have to understand those chemicals are not what you want to be consuming. And if you're thinking it's just on the outside, I'll wash it off the outside. Guys, come on. Really think about that. The material goes through the cell structure, has to go into that material, say that banana, to make it mature. It's going through the cells. You're consuming that. You may not think you are, but you are. Hey, Doc, there's so much that you can do to grow resilient plants. If you want to eat those plants in the winter, learn how to can. Learn how to take those tomatoes and can them. Take that cabbage and make sauerkraut. You know, make pickles, make this and that. You know, there's all kinds of ways to preserve that food. That's where, our natives had it right, where they were, taking the materials, the nuts, the berries, etc. They were drying them out. They were making, things like pemmican, you know, basically travel bars, okay, where they could have a small amount, have all of this material there stored up for the winter, and they would slowly use that up over the winter to get them through to when they could start harvesting material again as a life came back into our plants. Our winter left and those plants were reproducing again. Resilient plants are what we're after, because whether we're eating them, the animals that we're eating are eating them and getting the building blocks. It all comes down to having the building blocks available, whether it's in our bodies or whether it's in the soil for the plants. And that all comes down to sand, silt, clay, and organic material. I keep repeating it. I know I am, guys. But when you look at life through the eyes of biology, building all the organic life forms, biology built me, okay, because it's built cell by cell by cell. It's the same thing. Focus on feeding the biology, whether it's in your body, whether it's in the soil, whether it's in the plant. Focus on giving the biology what they need. And all of a sudden you have resilient plants. You have healthy, vibrant plants that have the nutrition in them to give you healthy cattle, healthy sheep, healthy goats, healthy birds, chickens, etc., healthy fish, healthy body human when I'm consuming that, because the building blocks are there for me and my biology to use. And that's the ultimate goal. It's not just about stuffing your gut so you're full. It's about the health of the food you're consuming to make you healthy. It doesn't matter if you're a multi-trillionaire. If you don't have health, your wealth means nothing. You'll give every bit of your wealth away to heal yourself to be healthy, because other than that, you're dead and that wealth doesn't matter. Nope.